small business has a story, and today we are joined by the local business owner to learn more about what is behind their business. I'm Heather Alto with the Central Virginia Business Coalition.
And I'm Mike Norfield with Visiting Angels of Lynchburg.
And today we are joined with Mike Schmidt with Joe the Home Pro. Welcome to Tea Time.
Thanks for having me.
What's the story behind your business?
Sure. So it's a little long. I know you guys like to go fast, but I just something that really changed my life was when I was 15 years old. My dad, we built our own home, and one of the very rare things, my dad general contracted it himself, and he made everything contingent on his 15-year-old son having to work on every single subcontractor's crew. Changed my whole world, because really I got to see intimately from pouring, excavating, to pouring the concrete, to framing the house, to pulling the electric, to doing the plumbing, pretty much everything on the house. It gave me like a wealth of experience that like I didn't realize at the time, but now in my life, like I'm always back on that aspect of it, of proper building practices, and then how I can then help people when they're buying a home or selling a home or, looking at different properties. My background is more built off of understanding how to fix it. Mm-hmm. Obviously I have the other company, Punchless Projects, that focuses on repairs. So my whole point with home inspections is I can point out defects till the cows come home. It doesn't matter if I don't have practical solutions and the knowledge base and the experience to be able to tell them, okay, this is the problem, but here's how you fix it. Right. And here's like the really expensive way, here's the medium expensive way, and this is what you could get away with, because everybody's in a different financial position. There are people buying $1 million homes. There are people who are first-time buyers buying something that is a huge fixer-upper. It's really just, they need that advice, they need that guidance, and that's what I really focus on.
Awesome. Yeah. So, that kind of explains like how the adventure got started for you, but what made you actually take the leap into doing home inspections? Sure.
So it's kind of a funny story. One of my best friends from college, Joe Nugent, actually started this company in Naples, Florida, and he was working as like a events manager at the Ritz-Carlton in Naples. And during COVID, I back up, he kind of started moonlighting as a home inspector, doing nights and weekends to make some extra money and kind of as a side gig. Well, when COVID happened, they let him go. And it's the best thing that's ever happened in his life. Basically, he went full time with the business. Now he's one of the largest and most successful home inspection companies in Southern Florida. And so, I had seen kind of his meteoric rise, if you will, of how his company grew. And I got in a similar situation. I actually came to Lynchburg. I was in a completely different industry. And lo and behold, I had talked to Joe about potentially doing this someday. And then I got the best news ever. I was laid off January of 2023 and realized, okay, well, now I'm going to do this. So kind of that gentle nudge, yeah. But it's definitely been a great decision.
Awesome. What have you found has been one of the biggest challenges you faced running a business in Central Virginia?
I think it's just awareness. I think everyone is a creature of habit, and my market is almost exclusively realtors. And I think that they would probably admit too, realtors are just creatures of habit. And so to get the awareness out that there's another guy out there, and I'm not just a guy, I'm a team now, of inspectors, that there's other options out there. That's really the biggest thing, I think, more than anything. Just letting them know that we're here and, give us an opportunity to earn their business is really what I'm looking for.
Okay. And how do you navigate that challenge?
Well, doing things like this. Obviously the CVABC has been really great. Heather and I are also part of another networking group, and people that know, you and I know each other from all the networking we've done together. It's always been my belief that I would rather actually be in front of people physically, be able to connect with them personally, than spend a bunch of money on Facebook ads or all that types of mass media marketing, because I think more than anything, it's all about relationships. And I'm somebody that like if you're part of my circle, like I will do anything for you. Mm-hmm. So I kind of lean on people like that. And that's why I like some of our groups that we're in, because I know I can trust each and every one of them because they're accountable.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, definitely the trust factor is a big thing. What keeps you like pushing forward? Growing. I know you're growing.
Well, nothing is a bigger motivator than starting your life over at 45 years old. You know something about that, right?
Yeah, I got you.
So nothing is a greater motivator than that. And honestly, you know, I've always been more of an entrepreneur. I've only had corporate gigs a couple times in my life. And so for me, this is where I thrive, is doing my own thing.
Awesome.
So why build your business in Central Virginia, and what makes this community special for you?
Well, the story is a long one. We won't go into it, but I came to Central Virginia to see about a girl, and I fell in love with her, and I fell in love with Lynchburg. So it's really a great community. Like when you come from the Midwest, North Midwest, people are nice, but like it's very, how would I say it? It's more secular, I guess, was basically what I would get at. This is just a really supportive, friendly. I've never been able to plug in so fast as I have in Lynchburg, because people are just so open and so giving of their time. It's been really great.
Well, I know you've touched a little bit on it, but how has being like a part of the CVABC supported your journey?
Yeah, I mean, it's just given us more marketing options. Obviously, when you're a small company, you don't have a marketing budget. Like, you know what I mean? Like your marketing budget is hustle, sweat, you know? And so I think, you know, what you've provided and your team's provided is just other outlets for people to connect, to build relationships, and then obviously hopefully get the word out. Mm-hmm.
So what do you appreciate about your local customers?
I mean, I guess I look at it like I'm really meeting a need. I think at the end of the day, I'm a people pleaser. I like to make people happy. And in our world, we're seeing more and more people that can't even turn a screwdriver. And that's not a dig on people, but we used to have a much more capable, hands-on society. People now in the digital age, they just don't know how to do things. And like I said, I grew up on a farm. We did all of our own work. The concept of hiring somebody to do work was like, we don't do that. We do it ourselves. And that's not the way it is now. But I love being able to provide that knowledge and take the stigma out of it for people. And whether it is we're doing repairs for somebody through punch list, or I'm working as an inspector, my primary role is to educate them on their own home, right? Like, you're going to own this house. This is how you take care of it. These are the things you need to look for. Hey, by the way, this isn't broke yet, but you're going to have to budget for this, you know, those kinds of things. I feel like I'm really adding value for them, helping them avoid costly mistakes or errors, or, you know, if you know, sometimes a home can look wonderful on the outside, and then you get into it and really into the attic, into the crawl space, and it's no way, Jose, you know, and realtors hate it. You know, if we kill a deal, I get that. But my most important thing is protecting the client in those situations.
And if you're buying a home, it's probably the biggest investment you're going to make. So like, you want to make sure that you know everything about that investment before you kind of take that leap and get into it. So there's nothing worse than finding a leaky pipe 6 months after buying a home, right? Something that should have been seen or caught if there was an inspection done, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So we're going to jump into our kind of rapid fire questions.
Sure.
All right. So the most controversial question we ask: sweet tea or unsweet tea?
Unsweet tea.
Yeah, we've got a lot of unsweet.
I'm not a sugar person. It's not my thing.
Yeah, my mom puts like 5 cups of sugar in our sweet tea. So when we say sweet tea, we are talking about sweet tea.
It's the diabetes tea.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's your favorite local business other than your own?
It's funny because like most people would probably say restaurants, but I live in the world of taking care of homes, and Brandon's going to pay me for this later, but actually Rogers Heating and Cooling, they have done a wonderful job for us. Obviously we have multiple properties that because we're also real estate investors. And they have come through time and time and time again where we've had it, you never have a heating or air issue when it's decent out. It's always when it's 10 below zero or it's 90 degrees outside. And
9 times out of 10, it's on a Saturday night.
Oh, it's always. Yeah. And their team has been great, super responsive, and come through in a real pinch several times for us. And it's not just for us, it's for our tenants too.
Awesome. What's the best business advice you've ever given or received?
One of my best mentors early in my career actually said, I think it's a quote by Otto von Bismarck, I think is the gentleman's name, but it was, fools learn from their own mistakes. It is, but like, intelligent people or smart people learn from the mistakes of others. And I think that's huge. That has saved me an enormous amount of pain of just picking up the phone and being like, hey, you do this for a living. If you were giving, if you were going to give any advice to somebody, what would you tell them?
Right.
I've never had a business owner not tell me.
Right.
Like, they want to help you because they don't want you to go through the same pain that they've had. They paid a ton of tuition. They don't want anybody else paying that tuition.
I like that. They've paid a ton of tuition. I'm going to log that away for later. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
What's the biggest myth about your industry?
That one's hard. That's a trap question, I think, because in the world that I'm in home inspection, you kind of end up with like two ends of the spectrum. You have people who can magnify defects to kind of promote themselves, if that makes any sense. And then you also like that like the sky is falling, the Chicken Little thing. Mm-hmm. And then you have the other people that really don't point out, and they can glaze over, or you don't get as much of a comprehensive inspection. To me, you need to be in between, which is if you're always screaming the sky is falling, no one will really take you seriously, and you're just going to scare everybody. And everything for me is, I'm not going to point out anything to you that I can't explain, find a resource for you to take next steps or further evaluation. And again, it's like, if I can't give you the advice of how to fix it, what the heck's the point of pointing out the defect?
Right.
Mm.
The whole point is, this needs to get fixed. This needs to be remedied, or, you keep moving. So I really pride myself on that. And I think that's somewhat missing, is that experience. Because, I come from, like I said, 30 years of experience. So for me, I can give them practical solutions to problems I think a lot of other inspectors would scare them away from.
Okay.
Where they would say, we got to run away from this. No, you don't. There's a practical solution for this.
What is one thing about your business that you wish you had known kind of before you got started?
I wish I had known how hard it is to get the license in Virginia.
Okay.
It's quite a process in Virginia that's very different than the rest of the 49 states.
Okay.
And how can people best support or connect with your business?
If you know a realtor, send them my way, or make a personal connection. They are our market. They're the gatekeepers. They're the ones who can open all the doors, literally and figuratively. And so, I think there's like 1,300 realtors in the Lynchburg area. So it's a huge market, and everybody knows one. So
it's also important for people to know that if it doesn't matter what realtor they're working with, if they want you to come do the home inspection, they can pick you, right?
Absolutely, they can. Yeah, they absolutely can. And I like to kind of look at myself as a realtor's best friend,
right? Because
whether I'm inspecting a home, doing a pre-listing inspection, or if they have a repairs addendum after an inspection, we can fix all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So we can do either or.
Yeah. And you're really helping realtors and protecting their reputation, because if they sell someone a house and it has all these problems, and their buddy they've worked with for 40 years doesn't catch it, that's hurting their reputation. But if they go with somebody that knows the house inside and out, so to speak, like, it could be a better experience.
That's the hope.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us today on Tea Time. And thank you for joining us. And if you want to find out more information about our guest today or how you can come on Tea Time and spill the tea with us, you can find that information at www.cvabc.org.